Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Screeny. When it comes to the Got Talent franchise, we've seen thousands and thousands of acts spanning multiple genres. Some are amazing and tipped to win from the get-go, while others aren't such a sure bet. In some cases, the acts are incredible but the potential for error is high and deadly, while others go terribly wrong because they're just terrible. One thing is for sure though, they're all entertaining and keep the viewers coming back for more and more again. Join us as we take a look at Got Talent acts that went horribly wrong. Brace yourselves, some of these are eye-watering. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more amazing videos about your favorite movies and TV shows. Trapeze Trip. Trapeze has to be one of the most physically demanding and potentially dangerous hobbies to take up. Seriously, who in their right mind wants to dangle from a hoop suspended meters in the air without any safety equipment? The thing is, audiences love it. Tice and Mary Nielsen of the duo Transcend appeared on the 2018 season of America's Got Talent to perform their awe-inspiring act. But it almost ended in disaster. Everything was going great as the couple did their thing on stage, with Tice wearing a blindfold and seemingly catching his wife. Until he didn't. His hand lost hold of her thigh and she went plummeting to the ground, causing the cheering audience to revert to stunned silence. Thanks to Mary's extensive training, she was absolutely fine, with the duo even asking to try again. The judges had seen enough and praised the couple for their expertise, putting them down for the next round. Mary later explains that they use a series of verbal cues to communicate, but the cheers from the crowd meant that she couldn't hear from her husband. Flaming throat. Ryan Stock and his fiancée Amber Lynn Walker did some pretty amazing Daredevil stunts to see themselves through to the 2016 quarterfinals. Audiences loved it, and the judges were kept on the edge of their seats, but it could have been fatal. Despite successfully performing a sword-swallowing stunt, the next one didn't pan out so well. The Canadian performer inserted a steel rod into his throat which had a circular target at the end, which stuck out of his mouth. Amber Lim climbed a ladder positioned a few feet away with a crossbow loaded with a flaming arrow. You can see where this is going, right? Amber Lynn took aim and fired, but the flaming arrow missed and hit her lover in the throat. Stock was clearly shaken by the mishap, but luckily walked away without any injuries. In a later interview, the couple explained that there was something wrong with the arrow, and it was no fault of Amber Lynn's. Her aim was on point. Stock expressed how lucky he was, as if the arrow had hit him in a slightly different angle, it could have gone through his neck. Even AGT took to Twitter after the incident, saying, "You never know what will happen when AGT is live." Ain't that the truth? Burning ladder. Honestly, if people just stopped playing with fire, there would be a lot less accidents in the world, wouldn't there? Kieran Beattie hoped to impress BGT judges with his dangerous act. The 22-year-old Welshman opted to make his way to stardom by balancing a ladder on his head while setting it on fire. Insane, yeah. Entertaining? In a kind of what the hell is happening sort of way. Things started out relatively okay, but it soon became apparent that Kieran wasn't very good at balancing or controlling fire. A few short moments into the act and it was very clear the fire was way too big and safety teams had to come in and save the day, extinguishing the flames and the act. All four judges found it hilarious, while Simon couldn't understand what the performance was supposed to be. This one went wrong on so many levels, but mainly because it was an awful act to begin with. It definitely didn't warrant the danger.
Can't watch.
Spinning Wheel of Death. As far as names of tricks go, the spinning wheel of death doesn't exactly sound like a walk in the park. Alfredo and Ana Silva wanted to show the judges what they were made of when they appeared on AGT in 2016. While their on-stage performance went pretty well, they also shared footage of what happened during the rehearsals. Alfredo was throwing knives at his best beloved as she was attached to a giant spinning wheel when the entire thing collapsed, almost crushing pint-sized Anna to death. The near-fatal accident would have been enough to put some couples off the performance entirely. But let's face it, you've got to be a little crazy to be in this kind of work anyway. The two dusted themselves off and got a standing ovation from the audience, and Heidi Klum going on to the next round. Each to their own, but we can't imagine doing that sort of thing on a date night. Can you? Double trouble. We've seen trapeze artists, idiots, and ladders and some spectacularly bad arrow incidents, but all the acts pale in comparison to this unique coupling. Two brothers hope to clinch the AGT prize money this year with their tumbling act, Fratelli Rossi. When they appeared on the stage, one of them explained that he had only recently recovered from a particularly nasty injury sustained while performing. This would be his first return to stage. The two looked like they defied gravity as they balanced on each other, flipping tricks that would have made Olympian gymnasts jealous. However, the two tripped up, literally, during one of the moves, and the flipper landed on the floor. Despite the judges trying to stop them, the pair redid the act among cheers from the audience, who adored them. They successfully pulled off the act and wowed the audience, but it could have been very different. What if the old injury was impacted, meaning they would never be able to perform again? Let's not even talk about the possibility of one of them landing head first on the hard stage floor. Yikes. Worrying water. Over the years, we've seen a lot of escape acts on both America's Got Talent and Britain's Got Talent. Magicians like to prove that they can get out of boxes, while Matt Johnson wanted to show the judges that he could shimmy his way out of a padlocked water chamber. Johnson looked like the type with a screw loose. Well, you'd have to be slightly loopy to lock yourself in water. And it was a close one. At his first audition, Johnson asked Anton Deck to mix up the key that opens the padlock with 20 other keys that do nothing, and submerged himself into the locked water-filled glass box. He told the judges that if he started floating and passed out, that would be the signal to get him out. According to the escapologists, if he wasn't out after around 1 minute and 50 seconds, then he would be approaching the danger zone. Simon was about to call time on the act and get Matt out of the box when he emerged victorious. In his semi-final act, things came even closer to disaster when he bound his body in a straitjacket and had his head locked in another water-filled container. This time, he gave himself 1 minute 45 seconds to get himself out, reassuringly telling the judges that there was a good chance he could die. Paramedics came onto the stage when the time passed 2 minutes 21, but Johnson managed to get himself out in the nick of time. A horrible accident? Not quite, but close enough. Alligator alarm bells. Think about doing something dangerous, then throw some hungry alligators into the mix. Does that make you feel better? No? Didn't think so. Magician/escapologist Lord Nil wowed the judges on AGT with his first dangerous stunt, prompting Simon to suggest that he up the ante next time and throw some alligators in there. So he did. When he returned to the stage for his next performance, he decided to do a trick that had previously seen him walk away with shattered hips and head trauma. With the blessing of his fiancée, Lord Nail put on a straitjacket and steadied himself as he was hoisted into the air above a tank of alligators. What's more, the ropes suspending him were lit on fire, giving him a limited amount of time to escape his restraints before he was plummeted into the tank below. Nil was visibly getting worked up as he tried to wiggle his way to freedom. One of the ropes snapped as he managed to set his arm free, and another soon broke, lowering him further into the alligator's clutches, who were ready and waiting for dinner. At the very last moment, the performer managed to pull it off, saving his life by mere seconds. You could tell by the look of horror on his face that it took him a lot longer than he anticipated. And it was definitely a close call. The Singing Souls. If it's not near-death experiences rattling the judges, then it's contestants who think they're great when really they're doomed to work in the fast food industry for eternity. Singing trio The Singing Souls appeared on BGT in 2009, full of the kind of confidence that makes you think, hey, these guys must be really talented. Alas, it wasn't to be. Led by outspoken Hannah, they claimed to be better than the Sugar Babes and the Pussycat Dolls. Determined to show the judges that they had what it takes to win, the three went in for the kill, as they launched into a terribly off-pitch version of an Evanescence song. They were met with red buzzers and chants of off, off from the audience. But it didn't end there. In fact, Hannah seized the opportunity to show the nation what a terrible human being she was. When Simon straight up told them that they were rubbish, Hannah saw red and told him to try it himself, giving him spades of sass. A couple more insults later and the girls were given 3 no's and sent packing, destined to live on in the archives of one of the worst girl groups of all time. Thank you very much for watching today's video. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more amazing content, and don't forget to check out one of the other 2 videos on your screen.